Dear chess friends, I would like to welcome to our studio the FIDE CEO, Emil Sutovsky. Welcome, Emil.
Hi, Elmira.
It's been a very exciting day for all chess players.
Indeed, for players, for fans, and I consider myself to be a chess fan, and also a player, competitive player in the past, but still occasional player now. And it's great that we could have an opportunity to bring it urbi et orbi, and to have competitions for everyone, to have competitions in many countries and also online. And this very event in Paris is very special.
Emil, today we are also trying to establish a new record, most games played in 24 hours. So how did this collaboration came up, with World Guinness Records?
Actually, this idea has been already discussed for quite some time. First time I remember we started back in 2020 with a project that was called Checkmate Coronavirus. And then we managed to engage hundreds of thousands of players to play during the quarantine times and so on. And we still kept this connection to all the partners, and we knew that one day we can think of something very big, but it was the most logical thing to do today on the 100th anniversary of FIDE, International Chess Day, and I'm happy that it materialized.
Well, there are so many events which are organized today, but also throughout the year 2024, but a few of them, and one very important one is still waiting for us. So the World Championship match, which was announced to be organized in Singapore, and it's a very important chess tradition, and I think maybe the title of the world champion hails from those matches.
Yes, basically it's the longest sportive tradition to contest world championship title. It started back officially in 1886. Although even prior to that there were attempts to call a player a world champion, but there were no official matches of the kind. But in 1886, when Steinitz played Zuckertor in several cities in North America, and it is indeed a tradition which we cherish very much, because it's not only a tradition. Every time when we have this event, we have a lot of interest for chess growing even in audiences which would not follow chess otherwise. It is much more than just a chess competition. It becomes sort of an event of omni importance, and we can see it still on the front pages of newspapers in many countries, because this tradition, once again, it not only runs for 138 years, but also there is a lot of story behind that. There is a lot of, some sort of records, some sort of interesting facts about that. And the reputation of World Championship match is as high as ever. And this year we're also setting one record with a groundbreaking World Championship match in Singapore, which will have the highest budget ever for the World Championship matches. And I'm pretty happy about how the cooperation started, and I'm really looking forward for outstanding, not just a top-notch, but outstanding event, more than just a competition.
Well, I was thinking, Emil, in order to qualify for this match, a chess player has to go through so many different tournaments and earn this right maybe once in a lifetime. So you really deserve it if you play this match.
That's what's special about the World Championship match, because compared to any other tournaments where sometimes you can just play in this particular tournament and win, but the path to the top is very challenging and is very difficult. I'll remind you that before FIDE was established, the challenger was mostly picked up by world champion, and it would be typically a challenger who would be most deserving, but sometimes only the person who could back financially his challenge. But starting 1948, when FIDE started organizing these championships, it has always been a very serious and well-thought qualifying system. At the beginning it was 3-year cycle, and the matches were played every 3 years, but starting the 21st century, it's already every 2 years.
2 years. And we were talking about the records, so I remember that I think that the longest chess game played in a world championship match was played between Magnus Carlsen and Jan Nepomniachtchi. Were you present?
I was present.
Yes.
It was one of the most exciting games I saw because, first of all, it had a lot of sportive merit because prior to this game, all the games were drawn in this match, and it turned to be out the absolutely turning point of the match. Magnus won that game and then won smoothly the match, and for Nepo it was a very serious blow, and he didn't manage to recover. The game itself was very special because at one point Nepo was almost winning or very close to winning, and then it was some difficult endgame which everybody believed that it should be a draw, but Magnus kept finding some resources, and basically the decisive mistake came on the 8th hour of play. And it was a monumental fight, and I remember very well. Those of you who are interested, you can go to FIDE YouTube channel and to look for Game 6 World Championship Match 2021 presented by NBC. By that time, we had an agreement with NBC to broadcast the highlights from the match, and this one we agreed with them that the most exceptional highlight we would be allowed to show on our channel. So this is the only one, I think, from the NBC which is broadcasted now there, and I think it's absolutely exciting, and even rewatching it, even just in the highlight format, it still make me shivering, you know, some points. And I sat in the playing venue when the final moments came, so it was exceptional. And it's one great thing, of course, about the classical chess, not necessarily that we have to stick to it, but it's one of the advantages that such a long games provide, because it's also a game of minds, but also of endurance, of how you withstand the pressure. It's absolutely different from, let's say, blitz games, which could be much more dynamic, much more easier to follow for a short span, but then they have they do not bring in forth other qualities.
So of course it introduces the physical dimension, you know, of the game. As
well, yeah. And I remember both players were just exhausted after this game. Once again, it's difficult to measure pros and cons, but definitely it was something to remember. I remember, if I'm not mistaken, the previous record was from the Match Cup of Kochnoy. And there, the long game was like 124 moves or something, and it ended in a stalemate. It also was very, very spectacular ending there. And but by that time, the play was adjourned game, so it was a bit a different story. But all the matches have their stories, and I think records here is only a part of the story, but the main and the most important thing is a clash of personalities, clash of chess styles, clash of approaches and attitudes.
Well, for the forthcoming match, we have the youngest ever challenger for the world crown. What do you think about this clash of personalities? The current world champion, Ding Liren, is going to face a very inspired Gukesh, you know, supported, well, the two nation heroes.
Yes, it's going to be exciting. I think Gukesh already has shown in Toronto, where nobody saw him as a favorite, that he is capable of basically any result, and he did prove himself also to be not only exceptionally well prepared and playing great chess, but withstanding the pressure. Will he keep his cool in this match? We shall see, but a lot also depends on Ding, because Ding had a very difficult year, as we know, after winning the World Championship match in Astana. And now it's a big question if he managed to regroup and to, let's say, to approach this match in his best form. If he is, then it would be absolutely exciting, and he's probably a favorite. But once again, that's a big if.
I understand this, and this has been a year of also sensational announcements from FIDE. So, prize funds, you know, the World Championship match is organized in Singapore, but also the World Rapid and Blitz is going to be organized in New York at the end of this year.
Yeah, thanks for noticing. Actually, for Singapore, just before we leave this topic, we are preparing some more exceptional announcements, and stay tuned. You will be excited about the announcement we'll have, I believe, at the beginning of August already. As for New York, it took a lot of effort. It takes a lot of effort because it's not only about securing the funds, which actually during the preparation for the event I realized why they call it the most expensive city in the world. So it is not only the budget but the whole scope of organization, which is going to be huge. But we aimed at that for a long time, and even when I was in Toronto, candidates I already shared with our partners this idea, and everyone was very supportive. So we spare no effort to bring it to New York and to have it at the level which hasn't been seen, because you know, if you already invested into making it in New York, you expect it to be exceptional. Luckily, many American partners of ours know how to make a show of the of basically anything, but rapid and blitz chess is particularly suitable for making show out of it.
So if you made it there, yes, you can make it anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, and is it part of the long-term FIDE strategy in securing corporate sponsorship?
Definitely, because also earlier this year we had the World Corporate Championship in New York, and we had many world's leading companies, Google and BlackRock and UBS and Deutsche Bank and Goldman Sachs, and of course for us it's important that chess is establishing these links, these connections, this network. You know, we are, as I firmly believe, on the verge of becoming a mainstream sport. In a couple of countries we already have, but in most of places still it is a niche sport. And in order to become a mainstream sport, we obviously need to another push to get a breakthrough, to get on TV in the regular formats. We are working tirelessly on that, and I think the chances are good.
Well, thank you, Emil, for joining us for this very insightful interview. What is next, you know, in a year?
Well, here we now will have just some sort of gala dinner and communication, and a lot of networking is inside here as well, because it's a rare opportunity also to meet people who you meet only once a year, once in 2 years, and to discuss what's going on in national chess federations, how FIDE can help, because it's our firm belief that FIDE has to lead all this way. It's difficult to make any major step within one country without being helped by FIDE, and we are trying to lead by example, by funding, by providing all the materials needed, whether it is for the educational projects or for the professional projects. So it is very important. But talking what's next for FIDE, you did mention 2 very important events, but we also have just in 10 days starting in Astana in Kazakhstan, once again in cooperation with our strategic partner Freedom. We're going to have the World Rapid Team Championship, and it's going to be a great event with many top players, including Magnus. So we are looking forward to that, and then in just 2 months we have an Olympiad. And Olympiad is always an Olympiad, you know. What I love about it is that it's not only a competition of top players, but also a chance for so many countries just to come to show themselves, to show how many talented players there are, and also it's a great festival. I mean, out of 190 teams which would be participating, maybe 30 or 40 would be competing for the top spots. But for many, it is a great opportunity to be there to showcase how the chess is developed in their country. And we are, as FIDE, we are doing a lot of work to promote and to provide this chance. For example, our investment in actually bringing the teams, because there is no other sport, there is no other even industry, I think, where so many people are actually covered for to come and participated to participate in an Olympiad. For us, it's very important, and I hope that participants will enjoy. I hope the top players will show their best in these fights, and spectators, of course, we never should forget about spectators.
Well, those tournaments offer also the unique opportunity for fans, you know, to cheer their national teams. And I still remember my first Olympiad. I was 16, Philippines, and I have, well, I still have a very beautiful memory of this event. Thank you, Emil. Happy birthday to FIDE.